record, tells the whole story, the whole thing. You can buy the book if you want. As a student, you can have some of the information for nothing. I have a one-page document that lays out the principle I'm going to share with you now, which is the system that I use, that I developed to break the world records. I learned a version of it from an educator in the business, and then I modified or adapted it to kind of make it my own. The concept is called revolution cutting. Revolution cutting is the notion of economy of motion. Essentially, the idea is when cutting hair, cut each piece of hair once to the appropriate length. Move on to the next hair and don't go back. There's an incredible amount of rework we do. The young lady that cut my hair that I mentioned last week, this woman cut my hair at least 3 times. And I explained it to somebody. I said, the way she cut my hair was like driving from Chicago to Detroit by way of Houston. This was not the most efficient way to get there. Did she get there? Absolutely. Was I happy? Yeah, I mean, this is how I'm supposed to look. I'm all good with the haircut. But let's talk about efficiency. Revolution cutting, or the notion of economy of motion. I've got the mannequin standing on the mannequin stand. I would have a client in the chair. Works the same way. I am a right-handed hair cutter. As a right-handed hair cutter, and let's assume this mirror and the cabinet represents my station. As a right-handed hair cutter, for efficient and effective hair cutting, I would cut hair standing here. I would position myself at this side of the chair with my right hip and shoulder facing the wall. Revolution cutting, as the name implies, is the notion of economy of motion. It involves executing a haircut in revolutions around the head. All haircuts using a revolution cutting concept. As a right-handed haircutter, we got any lefties in the room? Y'all got a flip-flop. It's always been that way when you're listening to people. So when I say right, you hear left, okay, when we're on the same page. As a right-handed hair cutter, all of my haircuts will start at the client's left temple. Now, remember we talked about always and never earlier? Real important to recognize. There's no always, there's no never. This is a system. Can you adapt the system? Yes. Might you make changes in the system? Yes. For the purpose of laying out the system, I am going to use the words always and never. As a right-handed hair cutter, I'm standing at the client's left temple. I will execute one function around the head. And the idea here is you want to plan your work and work your plan. Let's lay the plan out on the board. The minimum number of revolutions necessary to execute a basic men's haircut is 4. Revolution number 1 is taper the perimeter. Revolution number 2 is layer the interior. Revolution number 3 is blend the two together. Revolution number 4 is to detail the perimeter of the haircut. That is a basic revolution haircut. Minimum, what I did for the world record, were haircuts comprising 4 revolutions. You would add additional revolutions to the process as needed to either execute creatively or technically what you hope to accomplish, or based on what the client has brought to the party, you're going to need to modify. But the basic 4 revolutions as laid out here look like this. In revolution number 1, you will taper the perimeter. Whether we're tapering clipper over comb, snap-on attachment, guides or guards, interchangeable detachable blades, doesn't matter. We're going to do one thing. We're going to do one thing only, and we're going to move in our direction of revolution. That is to say, if we were tapering the perimeter, I would start at the client's left temple, moving counterclockwise if we were looking down from above at the head and looking at a clock. The nose represents 12 o'clock, the occipital bone represents 6 o'clock, and the ears represent 9 a.m. Anybody here got a digital watch? Those people get lost. All right, here's the deal. Look at it if you need to. You got a clock on the wall here somewhere?
No
I got mine here. Mine doesn't even have numbers.
Everybody know what time it
We're in
is.
trouble. All right, here we go. Revolution number 1, tapering the perimeter. At the client's left temple, I would be working here, and I would be working in this direction. I would be working counterclockwise in my revolution, working my way around the head in revolution number 1. When I get to that back corner, I will turn the chair. You don't move the hair cutter. We do not walk around the chair to cut hair. We remain stationary, and we reorient the client to the cutter's position. Reorient the client to the cutter's position. Give me that in English. Reorient the client to the cutter's position.
Turn the chair.
Turn the freaking chair. Turn the chair. You stand here, you turn the chair. And you cut, and you cut, and you cut, and you turn, and you cut, and turn. And by the way, when we work with a chair, while I have to use my hand to move the mannequin stand, most of the time when working with a chair, especially, and this is a Pater chair, I'm guessing this one's probably about as old as I am, we do this. called hip checking the chair. And if you've ever worked with, I don't know if you guys have any of them here, you ever seen those 50s chairs that are more barrel shaped? Kind of rounded barrel shaped chairs. You ever cut hair with one of those? Yeah, and if you're used to hip checking, you put your hip on the chair, you push it, and you slide and fall over. You ever had one of those on the stage that doesn't have a corner on it? And you're so used to hip checking the chair, and you can just do this, and you can work with it, and then you go to push it, and you just fall right over. But yeah, your hands are busy. It's called hip checking the chair. But you're going to rotate the chair. And you're going to taper around. And you're going to taper in one full and complete revolution. Revolution number 1 started at the client's left temple, all the way around ahead to the client's right temple. I have stood here the whole time, looking at the client this way, reorienting the client to my cutting position. At the end of revolution number 1, you stop. You turn around. And you head back in the opposite direction. You always work in the direction of revolution. Revolution number 2 would be layering interior. In the case of longer, straighter hair like this, I might go to underhand clipper over comb, and I would work in radial partings or sections, working around the top of the head. I would come in and I would do something like this, where I'm layering. This is underhand clipper over comb, executed around the head in revolutions, working my way up, overlapping my sections, continuing around the head in this manner. Everybody see how I'm now revolving in the opposite direction. Revolution number 1 had me move from left to right. Revolution number 2 has me move from right to left. I have what I call a revolution cutting diagram. It's available on the web, and you'll see it. It looks like this. That is a human head viewed from above. I have no artistic ability, but I'm trying to communicate. Nose and 2 ears. Revolution number 1 starts at the left temple, goes round to the right. That's an arrow. Little feathers on the back end, and put little points on it, like that. That is revolution number 1. Revolution number 2 goes the other direction. What happens in revolution number 3? You start over where you left off, you go the opposite direction. I usually put these little U-turns in here. Because if you put these little U-turns in here, this would be, it helps me understand it. I don't know if anybody understands anything I say. But then revolution number 4, you turn around, you head back the opposite way. You're alternating back and forth in revolutions. Never do anything against revolutionary direction. So in other words, if I'm here and I'm layering the interior, and I'm combing up and I'm cutting and I'm combing and I'm cutting, and I see something over here that I forgot to get, don't go back now. We'll get it later. We want to continue to move in our direction of revolution. So I'm going to continue working. This is underhand clipper over comb. I'm going to continue working my way around the head form. My feet might shuffle and move just a little bit, but I'll get around to this side. At the end of revolution number 2, I stop. At the end of revolution number 2, I stop at the client's left temple. What do? I turn around and go back in the opposite direction. Revolution number 3. In the plan that we built, taper, layer, blend, and detail. I get into my blending revolution. Now I want to blend my taper perimeter into my layered interior. I would blend around the opposite direction. And I would continue working my way around. Left temple to right temple completes revolution number 3. Beginning revolution number 4. In revolution number 4 is detailing. I would switch to a trimmer and a finishing comb, taking over where I left off. In this case, the client's right temple, sideburn, ear arc, rear quarter panel, neckline, rear quarter panel, ear arc, sideburn. If we're going to front line at that point, we run across the front to line and edge of the haircut. Those are the basic steps. Now, if as I'm moving through my lining and edging or my detailing revolution, I notice that the blend is not fully finessed. Can I go in and add another blending revolution? Yeah. Of course I can. If as I have moved through my blending revolution, I notice that the interior layering hadn't been perfect. There's a few things I missed. Can I go back in and add in a layering revolution to cross-check? Absolutely. One of my suggestions here is this. If you were going to go back and add in, plan your work and work your plan. Literally, when we share this in classrooms and workshops, we take a piece of paper, we lay out our haircut plan. And then as I walk around and help and work with and facilitate with students, I will walk up and I say, what revolution are you in? I'll say, I'm in revolution number 5. I'll say, what are you doing? I say, well, I'm detailing the perimeter. I say, which direction are you moving? I say, I'm going that way. I say, okay, you're on plan. But if somebody looks at me and goes, well, you're not on plan. Have a plan, plan your work, work your plan. You can have as many things as you need in there as you need, but my suggestion is this. If you were to find, when you detail line and edge, that the blend wasn't fully tweaked, if you put the blend in revolution number 5, what do you notice about the 2 blending revolutions? 3 and 5. What do you notice about the numbers 3 and 5? They're both odd. And if they're both odd, that means they're both the same direction. Okay? If revolution number 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice all even numbered revolutions work from right to left, and all odd numbered revolutions work from left to right. Biologically, biomechanically, and physiologically, if you blended from left to right, blend, 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 got all the way over here. If you missed something, if you go through that blend in the same direction the second time, if you're like me, what are you going to do?
Got it.
You're going to miss it again. If you missed it once, you're going to miss it again because you're going at it the same direction. So the suggestion is move it to the other direction. If you got that far, if you went through that and you say, I need a little extra blending, I would do revolution number 5 as a maybe checking my layering because